Everyone thinks Wild West outlaws were lone gunmen, but they weren't. After gold was confirmed in the Black Hills in 1876, Deadwood exploded into a boomtown of 25,000 people, with virtually no federal oversight until 1878. Many of the most profitable stagecoach robberies relied on a network of informants working inside Deadwood saloons. Barmaids passed along shipping schedules, gamblers tracked which miners had struck gold. Corrupt officials looked the other way. The Black Hills bandits didn't just get lucky hitting $60,000 in gold coins during their 1877 Big Springs robbery. They had inside information flowing through an invisible web of saloon contacts. How did bars and brothels become criminal headquarters? We're about to trace the chain of information that made it all possible. Before we dive into this hidden world of corruption, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss another gripping tale from the Wild West. The system that emerged was far more calculated than anyone imagined. By 1876, dozens of saloons across Deadwood had become intelligence hubs operating a criminal network that would make modern organized crime jealous. Famous establishments like the Gem Theater and the No. 10 Saloon weren't just places to drink. They were nerve centers coordinating information that turned robbery into a precise business. The system started with the barmaids. These women served whiskey to miners fresh from their claims and stagecoach drivers making their regular runs. While pouring drinks, they listened. A miner might mention his partner struck a rich vein. A driver would complain about tomorrow's heavy cargo load or reveal departure times. The barmaids remembered every word. They passed these details to specific contacts who paid well for such information. Gamblers worked the poker tables with practiced skill. They weren't just playing cards. They were extracting secrets through casual conversation. A traveling businessman might reveal his departure time while bluffing about a weak hand. A freight company manager could slip details about valuable shipments during friendly banter between deals. The gamblers cataloged every useful piece of information. Dance hall girls and prostitutes gathered the most valuable intelligence of all. Their clients bragged about wealth and business dealings in private moments. A territorial official might reveal federal investigation plans. A mine owner could mention when he'd transport his gold to Denver. These women turned pillow talk into profit margins. Information flowed from barmaids to gamblers to dance hall girls to corrupt officials. Each piece fit into a larger picture that revealed exactly when valuable cargo moved and which routes offered the least resistance. The Black Hills bandits enjoyed outsized success compared with many ad hoc outlaw groups because they had reliable informants and used the terrain to evade posses. They targeted stages on routes like Deadwood to Cheyenne. Their hits ranged from small hauls of $500 to $3,000 up to the famous Big Springs train robbery that netted $60,000 in gold coins in 1877. But one establishment stood above all others as the true command center of this criminal empire. Swearengen's Gem Theater generated what contemporary accounts estimate at $5,000 nightly through its combination of saloon, gambling hall, and brothel operations. Swearengen ran this empire as an operator who understood that information was more valuable than whiskey. He used bribery and intimidation to protect his vice operations, while turning the Gem into Deadwood's most sophisticated criminal hub. The Gem's corruption reached deep into Deadwood's transportation and territorial administration. Swearengen's bribes reached freighters and other insiders who tipped off criminal partners about valuable shipments. Corrupt officials sold information about cargo schedules and federal investigation plans. These connections created a steady intelligence flow that kept outlaw gangs one step ahead of the law. The relationship between Swearengen and outlaw crews like the Black Hills Bandits was mutually beneficial. Saloon owners provided detailed intelligence about valuable cargo shipments and received compensation from successful robbery proceeds. This partnership transformed desperate outlaws into profitable business associates, operating with inside information. The operations exposure began when Dolly Arnold escaped the Gem and later sued Swearengen in 1878 for unpaid wages. Her legal testimony revealed disturbing details about the Gem's true operations to territorial authorities. Court documents exposed how dance hall girls gathered intelligence and how the saloon coordinated with known criminals. Swearengen's Gem Theater functioned as the central command post for Deadwood's criminal intelligence network. Every piece of valuable information flowed through his operation before reaching outlaw gangs operating in the Black Hills. His systematic approach enabled some of the most successful bandit operations in the American West, but Swearengen's network couldn't have operated so openly without protection from those who should have stopped it. The most dangerous criminals in Deadwood weren't the outlaws, they were the men wearing badges. A web of corruption connected saloon owners, law enforcement, and territorial officials in ways that made the criminal network nearly impossible to break. Justice became just another commodity for sale in the Black Hills. Corrupt lawmen transformed law enforcement into a protection racket. These officials accepted regular bribes from saloon owners to ignore specific criminal activities happening under their noses. They tipped off outlaw gangs about planned investigations and federal marshal visits. Lawmen and territorial officials were often bribed or influenced by saloon owners, who understood that buying protection was cheaper than facing prosecution. Federal land office officials sold information about gold shipment schedules to the highest bidders. These government employees possessed detailed knowledge of when mines would transport their valuable cargo to Denver banks. They passed along shipping manifests and federal escort schedules in exchange for protection money and percentage cuts from successful robberies. The corruption reached deep into territorial administration. Some judges had financial stakes or ties to saloons, which undermined impartial justice. These conflicts of interest created a justice system designed to protect criminal operations rather than prosecute them. Verdicts favored saloon owners and their criminal associates when financial interests aligned with criminal defendants. Minors' courts fell under saloon owner influence through systematic bribery. These vigilante tribunals sometimes carried out justice but were prone to bias and could be swayed by money and influence. Swearengen and other saloon operators paid potential jurors before trials began. They influenced verdicts in cases involving robbery, murder, and territorial violations. Justice became predetermined based on who paid the most money to the right people. Corrupt officials provided advance warnings about incoming federal investigators or patrols through the network. A territorial administrator might tip off saloon owners about planned raids. Local sheriffs warned outlaw gangs when federal investigators arrived in town. This information allowed criminal networks to suspend operations temporarily and avoid detection. The corruption created an untouchable criminal empire operating in broad daylight. Outlaws robbed stagecoaches knowing corrupt sheriffs wouldn't pursue them aggressively. Saloon owners ran illegal operations without fear of prosecution from judges they owned. Federal officials sold government secrets while maintaining their respectable positions. By 1878, federal intervention increased significantly and combined with other forces like growing legitimate business interests and devastating fires, this helped reduce the saloon's impunity. But until then, the system had operated with shocking efficiency and coordination. The criminal networks that flourished in Deadwood saloons became central nodes in a sophisticated local intelligence and vice network that turned chaotic outlawry into more calculated crime in some cases. This system transformed random outlaw activity into organized operations with detailed plans based on inside information. Every robbery looked spontaneous but followed intelligence gathered through saloon contacts. Increased federal oversight by 1878 civic changes and events such as the 1879 fire and economic shifts weakened saloon bosses' influence over time. The saloon-based model using business fronts for intelligence was a pattern that echoed in other criminal enterprises across America. While the Old West's image focuses on gunfights, much of the era's most profitable crime depended on networks of people inside saloons who turned gossip, bribery, and proximity into intelligence. Do you think saloon bosses or corrupt officials were the bigger threat? Tell us below and subscribe for more hidden history.